Hi, everybody. I got a frog in my throat. My name is Giancarlo.
And I'm Felicia.
And this is our review of...
Holy shit, I don't know why I took on the defeat. Challenge.
Say it, Felicia.
Cthulhu?
Close.
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
Realms.
You have a
Cthulhu.
lisp?
I don't?
I
A
never
little bit.
noticed it.
I'm lazy, you know?
Oh, you're lazy, that's for sure.
I'm lazy when I
But
speak.
I don't know if you if you have a lisp.
Cthulhu Realms.
Yeah, there you go.
Darwin
Castles is
Castles?
the designer.
It's a guy's name?
This is the designers, yeah.
Is that a fake name? Because it looks very like castles, you know?
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the Darwin. Sounds more fake to me. It's the
Well,
guy's
both
real
of
name.
it.
Let's be clear. It's the
his
guy's
real
real
name?
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
amazing.
Cool.
He has
It's
a
a pretty cool name, I know.
Great name.
Darwin Castle.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like a...
10 is night.
Cthulhu.
10 is high. What does he say? 10 is high. Yeah, you're right. It says 10 is high.
No, the end is nigh. Cthulhu Realms is a deck building game where players try to keep their sanity while making their opponents completely insane. Do so and you'll win. We'll use a 2-player setup for now and show you a 3 to 4-player setup before final thoughts. Give both player a player mat with a sanity token on 50. Take the cards and separate the initiate, follower, and goon cards. Give each player 2 goons and 6 followers, returning the rest to the box, which should be placed nearby. Give each player 2 initiate cards and place the rest near the center face up. Shuffle the rest of the 66 general cards to form a deck and reveal 5 in a line. Determine a first player. Now both players will shuffle the cards they were dealt to form a deck. The first player will draw 3 cards and the other will draw 5. You're now ready for some insanity.
On a player's turn, they'll simply play any number of cards from your hand to do their effects. Most will be discarded afterwards, including the ones from your hands. Let's take a look at these cards. First thing you need to know is that there are 4 colors for each card, and each color will represent certain strengths. Blacks are mainly your starter cards with no distinct strengths. Green excel at doing serious insanity damage to your opponents. If they ever have their sanity marker reach 0 on their player board, they'll be eliminated. Luckily, purple cards excel at gaining sanity back, like healing. Lastly, yellow will give you more draw power to play more cards. Next, each card will have one of 3 types: entity, artifact, or location. One thing to remember is that when you play a location, unlike other cards, they remain in play in front of you. Now that you know the card and color types, let's look at their abilities, which are listed to the left-hand side of the card. Now, all these icons can be triggered, and you choose in which order to trigger them. You can use one, do another from another card, and finish off with another ability from the first. These, of course, only trigger once per turn, then the ability is used up. The only time you don't do all these abilities listed is when you see this. This means either choose the top ones or bottom ones. Now, let's start with this icon, Conjuring Power. The number listed can be totaled with other Conjuring Power values to buy cards. They can buy any number of them from the lineup and or initiate deck as long as their total cost, written on the top right corner, is equal to or less than your Conjuring Power total. All cards bought go into your discard pile. When a card is bought, it is immediately replaced with a new one. This icon will tell you whether you gain sanity points, written in black, or your opponents lose sanity point, written in red. And yes, you can go over your starting sanity value of 50. This icon works the same way, but instead denotes how many cards either you draw or your opponent discards. This icon means abjure. This simply means that you may choose a card from your hand or discard that costs 6 or less and remove it from the game by placing it in the box. This similar icon lets you take a card from the box that was abjured and place it on top of your deck. And this icon lets you destroy a location in play. All these abilities are also conveniently listed on the right side of your player mat. Now, some cards will have prerequisites for you to trigger those abilities. These would be denoted by smaller icons to the left/right or under the regular sized icon. These are fairly simple, as it means you must have in play or played another card of a certain color or type. And this means that this card itself must be abjured once the ability triggers. Some final lessons in iconography will have us look at locations. This means it's a sanctuary. Any loss of sanity to the player controlling this location must be applied here first. When sanity loss has equaled or exceeded the value here, that location is discarded. This means it's a nexus. Your opponent cannot apply sanity loss to your other locations until this one is dealt with. When your turn is done, discard all cards in your hand and in play, besides locations, and draw 5 cards. If ever you can't draw any, shuffle your discard pile and draw the remaining. Continue playing until an opponent reaches 0 sanity points and you'll win.
Before we go final thoughts, let's take a look at the difference in 3 to 4 player games. When setting up, instead of having 5 card lineup in the middle of the table, each player will have 3 card row on either side that is shared with their neighbors. They may only purchase cards from these 2 lineups. The first player will draw 3 cards, the middle one's 4, and the last one 5. When applying sanity damage, it'll affect both your neighbors. If a player gets eliminated, abjure all their cards and all available cards to them. A new 3 card lineup is drawn for their new neighbors, and again, the last person standing wins.
So you might remember a similar title called Star Realms, and that's because Cthulhu Realms is from the same designer, Darwin Castle. We had reviewed Star Realms and weren't mind blown like many other who had played the game, but we do prefer the little changes to give Cthulhu Realms a little more playability. First off, the box and cardstock is a huge improvement. Also, the player mats to keep track of life works way better over the Star Realms cards. The artwork is very nice and fits the light, fun theme really well. It's a quick game that culminates into a turn where it's kill or be killed, as both of you can easily do over 20 insanity damage in one turn. Want to try a quick deck builder between games as a filler or over lunch at work? Check out Cthulhu Realms. It does its job in terms of familiar deck building games. It gets a 7 out of 10.